should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing.
What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And on the phone line is a dude that's about to take over the radio business, if he hasn't already. Zach Sang from the nationally syndicated Zach Sang and the Gang Show is on Hoppe Hour. What's up, dude?
Yeah, brother. I've never really met somebody who sounds so excited to speak to me. This is so nice.
Dude,
thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I really look up to what you do. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Top 40 radio. Like, I like Top 40 radio, but I'm not into the music. But I love your approach to it, dude. It's so humble. You know what I mean? I like it, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the show is like me. This is like, it's weird to think back. I've been doing the radio show for 8 years now. So, this show is my life. I'm so unanimous with this radio show and just with radio in general. Me and my team, we come together every night. And we have a lot of fun, man. We just relax. We just talk, and it's worked so far, and it's been pretty freaking different. So it's good.
Dude, how old are you if you've been doing this for 8 years?
I'm 22 years old.
So how'd you get a radio show at 14? I was doing math homework at 14, dude.
Dude, okay, so the thing about 8 years back, right? YouTube wasn't really a thing. Nobody was saying in middle of conversation, oh, let me YouTube it. 8 years ago, nobody was really streaming radio that much yet.
Yeah.
It was a different universe. And at the time, I was working at a grocery store. I was working at Food Town, and I hated it, but I really liked talking to people. I liked, having one-on-one time with the customers. I liked being able to bag their groceries, take their groceries from the store to their car just so I got some extra face time with them. And, I'll get into it. My past, since the age of 6, I was so hugely obsessed with the Today Show and Al Roker and the local news. It was just such, a pinpoint focus for me. I used to wake up every morning at 6:30, catch the last 30 minutes of the local New York news, Darlene Rodriguez and Michael Gargiulo, love them. And then I would go into the Today Show as a kid, was obsessed with that. And that kind of started my love for just broadcasting in general. But back to how I started the show, I was working at a grocery store, hated it, loved talking to people. And I knew for a while that there was a whole void for radio amongst, radio that worked for my peers, right? So radio that actually meant something to a 14-year-old, because we only really had Radio Disney, and Radio Disney was really young. It was so much younger. 14, think about it. It's between, middle school and high school. You want to be cool and you don't want to be a part of Disney, but you still have that void in somebody's life. So I went into my bedroom and I figured out how to create an online radio show. And I failed and I attempted and failed a few times. That wasn't on this service called Blog Talk Radio. But then I found this service, Blog Talk Radio, which was essentially what YouTube was for video. Blog Talk Radio at the time was for radio. If you had if you had a phone line or an internet connection, you would be able to host a live radio show. And I utilized that platform to my benefit and did it from my bedroom for a year and a half, something around there. And then I was able to grow and move from there.
How did you get your foot in the door? Did, let's say, someone hear your show online and did they like it? How do you go from doing the show in your room to progressing in your young radio career?
Okay, and I think this is the most valuable skill I've ever had, is I've always been able to really sell myself. So what happened was I was doing this radio show, and I realized that in order for this radio show to grow from my bedroom, I need to be smart about it, and I need others' help. So what I realized was I'm going to utilize my curiosity, my love for an amazing story, my love for getting to know someone, my love for hearing about somebody else's life and putting myself in their shoes. And I was going to start doing celebrity interviews. So from my bedroom, I would book celebrity guests. And at the time, it was a lot of Disney Channel stars and, some online stars, online stars who really paved the way for what we have today in the YouTube community. So I kind of really got on the ground floor of a lot of stuff. And, from my bedroom, I was able to book guests. And every time a guest would come on, they would tell their fans to listen. Their fans would love the interview. And then every time, fans would stay, and their fans became fans of mine. And I was able to grow it. And from there, I heard of this place called Goom Radio, which was a big online radio company. And by big, I mean relatively big to what I was doing. So it was a company from France. They had millions and millions and millions of dollars in funding. And they started here in the United States. It was run at the time by Tim Romeo Herbster, who does Saturday Night Online Live now for iHeart, but before that he was Romeo on the Radio on Z100, and a guy named Rob Williams. In addition to those two guys, there were two CEOs based out of France that were traveling from the States to France constantly. I went into Tim Herbster's office. I was able to get a meeting with him through a friend's uncle. Right? I was able to make this connection. I found this place. I was emailing them, and I was asking around about this Goom Radio. Does anybody know anything? Does anybody know anything? Does anybody know this guy who runs it? And I was able to get connected to him through a friend's uncle to officially make the meeting. And at that point, I walked into his office, and I had, I don't know, like a book of papers, man. And in the book of papers it was all of the headlines I had made from all of the interviews I had done on my radio show over the past year and a half. And I said, this is why I want to be on the teen radio station that you guys are working on. This is why I think I work for it, whatever. And that ended up, getting me the job, really. So I got a job at this place called Goom Radio, rehashing here. And it was a big network of radio stations, about 15 well-programmed radio stations. One of those radio stations was a teen radio station that I was applying for the job to run and to be a part of. Got the job. A few months later, they decided to rebrand the entire radio station around my one show, Zach sang in the Student Body then, and they gave me the radio station, Zang Radio. So it was me and like two others working on this radio station with a budget of like $3,000 a month, like nothing, like pennies on the dollar. And we were able to grow it, and we made it become the second largest teen radio station next to Radio Disney. But yeah, I've been able to advance my career by selling myself, really. Back to your question, it was not, I can't say it was that one person who opened, all of these doors for me. It was really more of like, I know what I'm doing. I know that there's an audience here. I know that there's traction here. How do I package what I'm doing? How do I sell it to make sure that we keep growing? And I think I have a really unusual set of skills because as my career advances, it's my one radio show has been my sole focus, and this one brand has been my sole focus. So I'm obviously, an expert in it, but I'm pretty invested and I know it inside and out, and there's a plan attached.
Dude, we seem like we are so very similar when it comes to radio, just different formats. I've wanted to do talk radio probably for 10 years now when I heard guys like Howard and Opie and Anthony.
Oh, he's amazing, yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, isn't it awesome when you finally get the show into fruition and you get it going? I mean, I'm not on the radio yet when it comes to my show. I sit in on the shows here at The Bone. Thank you, bro. But isn't it awesome that, like, us dreaming about it in middle school and high school and us just doing a crappy show from our room finally pays off and we have an outlet to do it? Like, doesn't that just give you chills?
There's no better feeling in the world. Like, to me, putting a show on every night with my team is the greatest rush. Connecting with my audience it's like another high. I mean, I talk to so many people. I mean, I don't want to say hundreds. I want to say like maybe like 200 people every single night. I hit them on the phones. There's no better feeling than that connection. And to see where I've come from to where I am today, I mean, yeah, it's consistently like the biggest pinch me moment in the world. And you mentioned Howard. Like, dude, I listen to hours of Howard Stern every single day. He fuels me. But he fuels me on like numerous different levels.
Same to me, dude.
Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like from the way he approaches a story to his bits, but really the camaraderie and the loyalty and the connection that he and his team have and has had for the last 35 years. Oh my God, I can think about it, dude, and I'll start crying. It's beautiful. It's the most inspiring thing. If I'm down one day, like if I'm feeling like crap, if I had a crappy show, I turn him on, and it just restores everything for me. It really does. There's no better feeling. There really is. There's no better feeling. It feels amazing, and it's stupid. My life is stupid sometimes. It's really crazy to see how far it's come, and to you too, dude. I mean, come on. This podcast, you get everybody. You got Miguel Fuller. I mean, let's be real here.
Miguel's the man, dude. I love Miguel.
He's amazing.
Dude, it's amazing how nice people are in radio, because when we first go into it, dude, we kind of see it as, oh, they're going to be too cool for us. They're not going to care about us. But when you begin branching out and reaching out and messaging them, it's so flattering how I would say 75% of this whole radio business cares about us young people. And the 25% that don't care, Zach, are the ones that feel threatened by the up-and-comers. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, it happens all the time. I meet people. I can tell you stories for days. Some people, and I've been so lucky to work with, just this past year alone, I was able to I had 2 talks at conferences. One was with Tom Griswold of Bob and Tom.
Nice.
He's amazing. Nice. He's an incredible human being. He had such an appreciation for what I do, and he was just, he was amazing. The support he has for the next generation it inspires me to live up for the expectations and the bars that he's set. He's unreal. And then I got to be on a conference with Mark Thompson of Mark and Brian.
Nice.
And Mark's amazing. He's the same way. I mean, it's such great people in this industry. But it's riddled with its assholes too, dude. Like, I can tell you of, a guy or two who might be legend status who has bashed the crap out of me, my team, and what we do. And it's not, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people do it. But, it exists. But I think, the Radio Peeps page on Facebook, there's so much talent there, and so many genuine human beings and really great people. I mean, so many friends that I've made from this Facebook page, and getting to know people from, in this industry. It's really unreal. It really is.
I'm a part of Radio Peeps too, and I like talking on there, but tell me if this is me having a bit of an ego or being cocky, but I see them all as competition, so I don't really go on the page a lot just because I don't want to get ideas and because I'm so focused on pushing my brand. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy talking to them on there. I'll comment this and that, but it's like, at the end of the day, we're all competition, and I really focus on that. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like that. Here's the deal. I dig that mentality. I understand that mentality. And trust me, if there's a guy on that page that I compete with, usually I beat them, or I've taken a few of the guys out. So, I get it. I get it. But I also think that there's a lot of genuine talent.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people who I don't want to say they're selfless, because they're obviously out for themselves, but they're collaborative. And, in my opinion, a really great leader, a really great talent, a really great creator, a really great manager is collaborative just by nature. You know what I mean? At the foundation of who they are as an individual, they are a collaborative person. They understand that the goal, the greater good, at the end of this long, long tunnel, you can't reach it without a few other people in your corner. So, a lot of, some of those guys on there are really talented, and they really understand it, and they get it. And they're looking for feedback, and they're looking to share feedback, and they're looking for a mutual learning experience. So some of it's cool, and I've learned a lot from people. And obviously, just to talk radio with people is always good. I think my team gets really annoyed with me sometimes, my in-studio team, because I like to talk radio way too much, just way too much.
It is weird how if you're not talking to someone who gets radio, then you just come off like you're speaking absolute like gibberish. Like, people don't get it. Like, me and you talking, we're like clicking, we're getting along because we both like radio and we're both young. But like, if you're talking to your friend at the bar who like goes to school or something, they don't give 2 craps who are on the radio. Do you notice that?
No. I mean, here's the deal. Like, I have 2 sets of friends in my life, right? And I call them, all my friends are cool, but at the risk of not sounding like a real steaming piece of shit, I have on one side my cool friends, and those are my industry friends, and then on the other side I have my real friends. And I'm not saying some of my cool friends aren't my real friends. They definitely are. But on the other side, I have my real friends who, I grew up with in New Jersey, and we went to high school and middle school together. And, so they have different, when I speak to them about radio, the different groups have different opinions. The cool friends, right? They're really interested in radio. They really want to know. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they make music. They want to know what the hell is going on. They want to know my opinions. They send me things for my thoughts. And they can have some form of a back and forth. And we can have bigger industry conversation, which is always refreshing and incredible, because from those cool friends, I have learned so much. So much, whether it's through conversation or just being a fly on the wall in a situation that they're in. It's amazing. And then I have my real friends who I've also learned so much from, more social stuff rather than work stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to make out with somebody, how to cop a feel the right way, how to give or receive a hickey, that type of stuff. How to, chug a beer real fast, or, more of like the social side
Look
of
at
things.
you, party boy.
Yeah, no. I fail. I need to be taught things. That's why it's terrible. You know what I mean? It doesn't come inherently to me. Somebody has to guide me step by step with a whole how-to thing. It's a whole mess. It's really terrible. But no, so they're really cool, and I've learned stuff from them. And their approach on radio is different. They're more interested in maybe a little bit more of the celebrity side of things. They're more interested in how my work is going rather than the industry in general. But they're really cool. I mean, dude, my best friends in the world have been with me in this radio show since pretty much the beginning. I mean, for a while, when I went from doing the radio show from my bedroom to doing the radio show for Goom, I had to commute to Jersey City. We had these beautiful radio studios on Hudson Street in Jersey City, right on the Hudson River. They were just gorgeous. But I was 15, and I lived in Wayne, New Jersey. I couldn't get there. My friends, because I was friends with older kids in high school, they had their licenses. So they would be driving me to the train. A lot of the times they would drive me into the radio studio every day. I mean, my friends have been the most supportive group of individuals when it comes to my job and to my career. It's beyond. I mean, I talk about my friends on the radio now, and every time I talk about them, I wake up the next morning to a text that they got from their friend about me talking about them on the radio. So it always gets back to them, and they've just been the most supportive and loving group of individuals. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, Laura Meady, they're my people, But yeah, it's interesting. When I talk to my friends about radio, they have very interesting perspectives on it.
Do you ever get sick of talking about radio?
I can on any subject you bring up for way too long because it's just in me to not have dead air.
I'm the same way, dude.
Dramatic presence, okay?
I'm the same way, dude. Whenever I've called into a podcast, too, when they've asked me to be on, I light up the room too much, and then I forget what I was asked. I can go on the longest winded rants. And with that, I want to ask you this. Do you ever get sick of talking about radio? Because a lot of my friends go, what do you think of this person at the Bone? Or what's it like being around this person or this person? Or what about that time on air? And it's I view it as my job, and I love working at the Bone. It's a dream come true. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's not that much of entertainment to me more than a job. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. See, my version of that would be sub out radio and put in just overall entertainment industry celebrity bullshit. My mom is the most annoying. My friends get it. They ask very seldomly. My mom.
How is she annoying?
She's annoying when it comes to celebrity stuff. It's all she wants to talk about. So, for example, American Music Awards, Meghan Trainor and Charlie Puth had this kiss, right? That goes way too long. I'm very good friends with both of them. That's all my mom wanted to talk about for I don't know, an hour on a Sunday. It was the most painful. And it's I don't, you know what I mean? That's annoying to me. Or she always asks about, some of it's she's asking about my friends, so she wants to check in. But she's very into the celebrity, not celebrity way, but she reads the magazines. So she has 1,000 questions all the time. All the time.
It's weird too. My mom's the same way. My mom listens to every second of my show. And what's weird is my show's a little different than yours because mine's more edgier. It's talk radio. It's for like males 25 to 54. So I'll speak more about like my sex life, which is odd at times. And I'll rant about the news and give my take. And I'll have radio hosts and comedians on. So it's kind of weird, dude, knowing that my mom listens to every second and she knows way too much about me. You know what I mean?
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot to handle. I'm not going to lie to you.
Are you ever open on air like that? Like, how real can you get for your audience without being, like, edgy? You know what I mean?
I'm getting pretty real. But to be honest, for me, my radio show has always been very reflective of my personal life. So where my personal life is going, that's kind of where the radio show ends up going. Do you get me?
Where's it going?
And now I'm at that stage in my life that I'm finally starting to get out there and meet people. I'm starting to date someone. I'm talking to someone. And here's the deal. I haven't dated anyone, and my audience knows this, in like 4 years. You know what I mean? I'm a virgin. My audience knows that too.
You're a virgin, dude?
Yes.
I was a virgin until I worked on a show in Cleveland, and I had sex with a 49-year-old. So trust me, dude, I haven't had the most normal life either, dude. Being a virgin sucks.
You might want to still be a virgin. I mean, what the hell? You had sex with a 49-year-old?
It was awesome, dude. I had sex with a 49-year-old. I had sex with a speed date girl, and then a fan of the bone last month. So I've had the weirdest experiences, dude. Trust me, man. Don't rush it, bro. Once it happens and you reach the top of the mountain, you'll be glad that you're not Ryan Hoppe and you had that thing where once you climaxed, you're like, I'm in bed with a 49-year-old.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. They obviously broadcasted the entire thing, right?
Oh, I wish I would have. That would have been funny. Periscope it.
Wait, was it a bit on the show?
No, it was a fan in Cleveland. They just hit me up. It just went over.
Oh, my God. You should have. Oh, that would have been funny if they connected you to the show. You're a virgin,
oh, no.
You know?
It got brought up on air. When I worked on this show in Cleveland, all they basically do is make fun of each other. And when I mean each other, I mean the host makes fun of everyone else. And I was always the butt of the jokes. So I had to break down that on air. I had to break down when I had a speed date and how I had sex and I couldn't reach the top of the mountain. So, like, my whole life has basically been put on broadcast in Cleveland and sort of in Tampa here. It's very bizarre, Zach.
That's good, though. That's good. I mean, you want that. That's what I'm doing. So, like, right now I'm a relationship guy. I'm not a one-night stand guy. So, and I think that quality in me is much better played out on the radio anyway, because I'm a big fan of characters, and I have a team of characters now, and we're all characters really, but we all play a part in the show. And, it's one, really great content on air, but two, this is new for me. So my audience gets to kind of live this whole thing with me, but also guide me in the process, because I'm very big on advice, and we share advice mutually because it is a giant friend group, if you know what I mean. So it's going to play out very kind of nervous. My parents don't know, and my parents hear a lot of it because we're on in the area. So I don't know. I'm very open, though. Very, very honest, very real. This is going to be the first time that I'm as open and honest and real in front of as many people as I have been in the past. It's also a different phase of my life, so it's a different level of real and honest. But let's see. It's going to be good.
Dude, trust me. When you're real and you're honest, at first it feels weird when you just say, let's say you bring up a thing on air that you never thought you would ever say on air. Once you say it and once you make it a part of your show, then you feel comfortable and you don't care. If it could be 2 people listening or 100,000 people listening, I just pretend no one's listening. That's the key.
Always. You have to do that. That's the only way you can win. You know what I mean? Well, people are listening, but I picture a smaller group. You know what I mean? I picture a smaller group of exactly what our audience is made up of across the board. Do you know what I mean? It's a representative from every different lifestyle. And that's who I'm speaking to. But to your point, right? I've been honest for a very long time, but because my radio show coincides with where I am at in life, right? Think about it. My level of honesty and what I'm being honest about is different when I'm 14 doing the radio show to when I'm 22, because I've kind of grown up on the air almost. You can go back to my shows and you can figure out where I was at in life, and It's weird. I've done that a few times, and it's very reflective. It's very much our own reality show that's been going on, that's kind of lived out on the radio for all these years.
Would you ever want a show on TV?
Yeah, well, we're working on one now, but it's not going to be like a reality show. It's gonna be like a cross between like a Mike and Mike and a little bit of a nighttime talk show. It's going to be cool. And we're hoping to get something out by the summer.
Dude, you are so innovative, man. Most people my age that want to go into radio go to these radio schools and just think that it's going to be handed to them. And by no means am I trying to like pat myself on the back, but people like us are the ones that give more, that go farther in radio because we push and we never give up. You know what I mean? It seems like a lot of kids our age are kind of lazy and they don't want to grind through it. You know what I mean? Because, dude.
Well, that's it. Like, people wait for it to come to them. And I always tell people, it's like, why would you wait when you can just build? We live in a day and age where the internet is the greatest, most useful tool. The opportunity is literally, not metaphorically, literally at your fingertips. Now, more than ever. Why wait for that degree? Why invest 20 grand into a broadcasting school or a mentoring program when you can literally throw some stuff up at a wall, see what works, and develop it yourself? And I'm not saying there's no benefit in school or a broadcast school or paying to get a mentor. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should be doing things while doing that in parallel.
Yes.
If anything. You need to be building your own opportunities. You really need to. I mean, look at me. I look at you, right? I mean, holy shit, dude. If you were to ask me 8 years ago when I was doing this from my bedroom, if I'd ever be sitting in my decent apartment in Los Angeles right now, sitting out my balcony talking to you about my radio show, never in a million years. Or would I be broadcasting backstage from the Grammys yesterday with all of these celebrities who have already done the show 3 or 4 times? I mean, no, you never know where an opportunity will go if you don't try.
You have to keep pushing and never give up. Kids our age just don't even want to try. It's annoying, dude.
Here's the deal. Give up in moderation. If you're going at something for 3 or 4 years and you're seeing zero traction on it, read the signs yourself and assess the situation. But I have a lot of friends who have great ideas and want to do things, right?
Yeah.
Who don't even put any wheel in motion because they wait for it to just come to them. Do you know what I mean? Or they want to do radio or they want to do broadcast and they're going to wait for somebody to give them a job. Why not build your own? If you have a great idea, seize the day, dude. There's so many great innovators that populate YouTube and populate and create content for an amazing online audience.
What do you think of these kids on YouTube or Vine that get famous off of like short videos? Because to me, it sort of annoys me. I might sound a bit like jaded, but it's just kind of like, what's so special about them? Like, to me, I really look up to you because you just do a radio show where you interview people and you have talent. But I feel like a lot of these kids just get lucky. Like, all these prank videos are just dumb.
I think there's a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I know the online community well, and I've known it forever. I mean, go back 8 years when I was doing this radio show. That's when all of these, like the first generation YouTube stars were coming up. People like Michael Buckley or Dave Days or God, what's his name? Fred Figglehorn, and I mean all of these people. Freaking this Ray William Johnson. All of these guys were brand new. They're the first generation of YouTube stars. I've been studying it forever. Some of them don't have that talent. And you're right. They get super duper lucky. And once they get lucky, maybe they have a little bit of smarts to create that luck into a business that can last a little bit. But with that, there's so much talent that is genuine, pure, and real on both sides, on the creative side and on the business side. If you look at someone like Miranda Sings and Colleen, she's amazing. She's turned a vlogging character into a world-class brand that has a new series coming out on Netflix. She has numerous apps. She was on The Tonight Show. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld's obsessed with this motherfucker. People are obsessed, and there's a lot of that, and you got to admire it. And I've learned, right, through all the years doing this, I admire people on two sides. I admire people for their creative and their innovative nature, and I admire people and I respect people for business. And it takes two to really succeed. You can't necessarily have one without the other.
Where do you want to see yourself, like, in the next 5 years? Like, would you want a morning show? Would you want to be, like, syndicated? Would you want to be on, like, Sirius XM radio? Like, where do you want to take your show, dude? Because your show is growing, man. It's getting big.
Right. Like, thank you. Thanks. I mean, right now we're doing nights, run 75 stations across the country. We're doing well, picking up new stations. Yesterday we just picked up Memphis, Tennessee.
Nice.
Opened up Bakersfield, California. It's really cool. I mean, right now, in the immediate future, there's two signs, right? We're going to build this night show, and we're going to build this show into a powerhouse. There's so much opportunity here. I mean, like, I was sitting at the backstage of the Grammys, and because I live in Los Angeles and I broadcast in all these other places across the country, you know, my team really, I get to visit markets a few times a year, but they don't. We lose sight sometimes on the power of radio. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like the power of radio isn't necessarily just evident from social media. It's evident from walking into walking into a restaurant and having the waitress come up to you and, acknowledge the show that night. Or, you're going through the drive-through late at night and somebody says, hey, I really like what you did tonight on the radio. Or walking through the grocery store and somebody coming up to you in one of the aisles. That's really gratifying, and that's such an amazing part of radio that my team doesn't get to really experience all the time. So first move is we're going to build nights, and we're going to win in these markets. Like yesterday, we were backstage at the Grammys, and Thomas Rhett, who's a country singer who lives in Nashville, he came up to he heard my voice from a long way away, and he was so excited, and he was like, "Oh my God, I wanted to put the voice to the face for so long." And I'm like, "Dude, what?" And he goes, "Me and my wife listen to you in Nashville every night. We love you guys." And my team started freaking out because it was the first time that they got to experience it. So we're doing well at night, right? But we need to get people into the market. So this year we're going to be focused on growing our show in the markets, bringing on new affiliates, and going to visit our stations. Like, that's important shit for us. But down the line, I don't know. Hopefully mornings is in our future, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe afternoon drives could be in our future. Who knows? I think we keep everything open, and we know that our show, no matter what, we approach our show with a content-first attitude. And, our mantra every night, man, when we go on the air is to create high-quality, consistent content that connects, entertains, and relates while building a friendship and a trust and a real relationship with our audience. And we can do that in many different day parts.
Dude.
But also we're going to build a TV show, too, so that's going to be fun.
How flattering is it when a fan comes up to you or a famous person? I haven't had that yet, but they say
You will, motherfucker, you will.
Thanks, brah. I appreciate it. How awesome is it, dude, when they say that our show makes their day? Like, for me, talk radio, my show is for, like, landscapers or hardworking Joes, because that's the demographic, 25 to 54. So when I hear them say they're Ubering and they listen, or they're landscaping, or they're doing this and that, it's flattering to think that they tune on my show in between the breaks of, like, Howard or Opie and Jimmy. Like, to be in the same name is like an honor. So how awesome is it for you when people say that your show makes their night, or you have people call in? Like, doesn't it just make you, like, even more motivated?
Yes. Oh my God, it fuels us. You need that in your life. I mean, it's creative validation almost. And for us, I mean, we alienate not alienate by choice. I mean, just by geography, we're so far off from our station, so we don't get that all the time. But when it happens, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, we get tweets and stuff, and like, it just fuels you. I mean, it validates what you're doing. It validates hard work. So, and while it's validating, it also continues to push you. And, it also puts a face and a personality and a human being to the long hours that you put in.
Do you ever find yourself burning out, though? Because I didn't really burn out this week. I did like 9 interviews. Then I answered phones for Roger and JP. I loved every single second. But it's weird. Once you're in bed at like 11 or midnight, you're just like, wow, I have the next day. And you're like, wow, this day's over with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I never have any complaints. I love every second. I got to walk in this local thing for the Bone, this really badass parade. But it's just like, at times, you got to just kind of like breathe and just relax. And I don't know if you meditate or anything, just any way to like shut down social media and radio for a few minutes, because you can really get wrapped up in it. You know what I mean?
Yo, I get consumed all the time.
Me too.
Forever and always, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's terrible. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. Dude, some days feel like one long day. I think for me, the way I break away from this is like I become social. You know, I go out and I'm social with people that has nothing to do with work. Do you know what I mean?
You have to.
And that to me is a great escape while also doing work, because when I'm social and when I'm out there and I'm talking to people or I'm talking to the person I'm into, whatever it is, you know, that's content for my show. And it also puts me in a much better space to really kind of give my all to the product, you know, and to the show, you know, it really is. And when I say product, I mean really brand, because, you know, for us, I focus very heavily on the show. And then we have there's 1,000 different pieces that just spawn off of it.
What are some reasons that people should tune into your show? And people that are looking for a show to air, why should they pick you guys up in a new market?
Okay, so if I'm pitching to a program director or a VP of programming or, you know, an OM or a GM, I mean, you pick us at night because we are the only, and not only, we are the best CHR at night show out there for numerous different reasons. One, we're live. Two, we create content that no other night show is creating, man. It's a very different experience when you hang out with us at night. It's an interactive experience. I mean, the show content is on another level. You get to know the characters. You become one of our friends. We do incredible promotions. We do world-class exclusive interviews that nobody else is getting and nobody else is doing. You know, I mean, in addition to the content and why we're great and we have a lot of fun and we're topical and we're live. And I mean, there's 1,000 different reasons why PD should pick us up. In addition to the fact that we super serve our affiliates, we do all of these, we do daily promos and we do all these reads. We can run your Facebook for you. We can run your Twitter. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons. But to a listener, why they should hang out, I mean, we're a great escape. We are your friend group who is with you every single night. You know, I'm here personally on the air and in real life as your best friend. You know, I'm there to support you when you need support. I'm there to yell at you when you need someone to yell at you. I'm there to laugh with you. I'm there to be happy. I'm there to bask in your glory with you. I am your friend, and we are a friend group that's always there, always constant, and we're just here for you. But also, you're here for us. It's such a two-way street. It's such a mutual relationship, and we're the friend group that it doesn't take 3 days or a week or 2 weeks or whatever for you to feel comfortable. You're immediately comfortable. You're immediately in the loop, and we immediately include you in everything. And it's just a lot of fun. I mean, we obviously do really cool interviews, and interviews are a massive part of what we do in our overall brand. The radio show at night doesn't feature the full interviews, but the full interviews are pretty big online, and that's kind of where we have a really we air bits and pieces of the interviews on the FM show at night, but the full pieces go up on the internet. And I mean, they're different interviews. They're different conversations. Whether you're the biggest fan of an artist, you're going to learn things about them that you've never heard before. I can guarantee it. And whether you're just a lover of interviews and you're just curious and you want to show interest and you just want to be a part of a really stimulating conversation, our interviews, you know, really cater to you as well. I mean, they're different. They're really different pieces. I don't know if you've checked them out, but
I dig them, man.
My competitor, they're unique.
What I like is it's not the same old top 40 crap with the same old pre-asked things. Like, you guys are just laid back in the way you do it, which is how I approach it. I look up to like how Howard and Opie and Jimmy do interviews. You got to just make them feel like they're at a bar just drinking with their friends. That's the best approach.
Yeah, it's that, and I think it's also, it's making sure that like enough respect is given to the artist and or to the actor to really kind of like really you need to show interest, man. Like you got to be genuinely interested. You got to really be appreciative, but you also need to really like I understand all the work that goes into the creation of a song, and I respect artists on numerous different levels, and we can talk about so many different things from personal life to industry stuff. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and like it's just when we talk to people, they tend to be a very really great, well-rounded conversation where you get a little bit of everything, and we end up making headlines in the process.
What is the greatest interview you have done in your show so far? Which one are you most proud of?
Okay, I don't know. I mean, this year has been a really big year for us. Justin Bieber came to the studio and he sat down with us for over an hour. He spent like over 2 hours in the studio just hanging out, and that was a really special interview. That really was. I think the world saw such a different side of Justin Bieber. They learned a lot about Justin, and I mean, just to be the guy who could facilitate that and kind of just be the eyes, the ears, and the mouthpiece for most of society at that time, I just really appreciated it. It was really special. And, we just had a really cool conversation with Zayn Malik of One Direction. That was pretty cool. He confirmed, we talked about his music and life, and it was just, I don't know. There's been so many, man. I learned something new and different from every conversation I have. I learned so much from these artists that sit across from me. I'm forever grateful. Like when I look back on my life and, 50, 60, 70 years or whatever, like it's going to be one of these interviews that I've done and that I continue to do. I mean, they're special to me. They really, really are, because I don't know. When you get a chance to sit down and really talk with someone who is a titan of the industry and, an innovative, creative mind who is just different. And, Biz Stone, I got a chance to sit down and have an hour conversation with the guy who created Twitter, dude. Like that, it was amazing. It was amazing. I get a chance to learn so much from these people. It's really special. And I like to share that knowledge, obviously, and I hope other people get to learn too.
What are some of the craziest interviews or craziest times you've had on air that come to your mind?
Okay. So one of my favorite moments is when we caught my co-host's boyfriend cheating on her live on the radio. It was such a special moment because it was 100% real, because I don't fake that shit like other people. If you're
Thank
listening,
you.
You know who the hell I'm talking to.
Thank you. I hate fake radio. Yeah. It needs to end.
That was bullshit. War of the Roses nonsense.
Ugh.
It's ridiculous. Oh, it's embarrassing for everybody. It really is. Stupid. But, okay, so I caught my co-host Shelly's boyfriend cheating on her live on the radio. We're doing the radio show. She's dating this guy. This guy checks in to a restaurant on Facebook. He's not texting Shelly back. She's getting super nervous, super suspicious. And we're live on the air during this entire thing. And I go, he checked into a restaurant. I mean, why don't we just go and look? And we're broadcasting from Manhattan at this time, and he's in Manhattan, so it's not far away. Everything is just a subway or a cab ride away. You can get there in 10 minutes or whatever. So I send my intern, Swan, that was his name, intern Swan, to just go and suss out the situation. You know what I mean? So he gets there, he calls us up, and he's sussing it. He's walking back and forth from the other side of the street. He sees the two sitting at a table outside. Shelly's boyfriend at the time is holding this woman's hand, right? And finally, it looks like he's going in, and we have Swan go and talk to him.
Oh, man.
He catches – Shelly at this point is crying hysterically because she's so overly emotional. She's just a loon. This is really her. She's just bawling her eyes out, making a scene in the studio while he is confronting her boyfriend who is cheating on her. And, yeah, it went down, and it was – fucking unbelievable.
How uncomfortable were you?
That's always that's my go-to, but we have a lot of amazing moments. I mean, we did a game for Christmas called Christmas Cookie Roulette, and one of the cookies was filled with laxatives. So whoever got that one cookie, obviously, spent a lot of time on the bowl. I got the cookie. But yeah, we've done a lot of cool stuff. But Shelly cheating on the boyfriend, that's my favorite. But I also get a lot of crazy phone calls. I mean, Ryan, I cover a lot of the country in a lot of really places. Like if you don't live if people on the East Coast and West Coast don't think about Middle America at all, really that much, because they're selfish pricks usually. So they really forget about it. But they're amazing human beings with so much story, so many stories, so many different ways of life. And dude, oh my God, I've gotten some crazy phone calls, man. I'm going to write a book one day on all of them because I've saved a lot of them. I mean, they're amazing. They're really amazing.
Are you ever nervous or uncomfortable when you're talking to them, or is it usually just fun?
Oh no, it's just fun. I mean, we have a thing where it's just I get everybody's name before I talk to them, so I know them, and it's just everybody who calls, it's like they know us so well, right? So they understand what it's about, and it's just a fun conversation. It's amazing to see what my listeners, I never say listeners. I can't believe I just said it. What our friends trust us with, because it's unbelievable. They call us with everything, and they'll tell us really anything. From deep secrets to being the first person they call after a breakup. I mean, just the other day, this guy just gave birth to his baby boy, and we were the first call he made after his parents. What? We're sharing these amazing life moments and these terrible life moments, but also some happy life moments with you. We're with each other no matter what, and that's the relationship that on the radio stations that I've been on for 4 years, we've had, and we're obviously grow stronger every day. And then on the radio stations that I've been on for maybe over a year now, or newer stations, it's building, and it's unbelievable. It's amazing. It really is. It's just thinking about it right now, because honestly, not that I don't think about this stuff much. I do, but I never have conversations like the one we're having now. So, it's obviously also a really cool opportunity for me to reflect.
Now, you have so much passion and so much going for you right now. What do you see happening this year in 2016? Where will your show go, and where will your radio career go?
Ooh, I'm hoping to hit at least 100 radio stations this year, probably more. We want either 100 or 110. If you do 120, that's amazing. That's one of the goals. And we're going to build our YouTube presence. We're going to be doing much bigger interviews, and we're going to be building our online radio presence. That's been something that's taken a pretty big hit for us with the move over to Cumulus and full-time with Westwood One, but that's going to end this year. This is going to be a really cool year for us, I'm telling you. It's going to be very special. We're going to get into our markets, do a whole market tour. It's going to be dope, dude, and hopefully television's in our future. Who knows?
Dude, where can people find your show online, on the radio, and where can they find your work? Basically, where can they find everything you're up to, you badass?
Yo, Zach Sang1 on Twitter, or ZSATG on Twitter, or really Facebook.com/Zach Sang and the Gang. We keep all those updated, and you can check out all of our interviews. I mean, seriously, if you're an interview fan, I would love for you to check our stuff out, because they're pretty good, I think. That's after I listened to them a trillion times, dude.
I'm the same way.
Them so many times, it's crazy.
Dude, I think we both kind of have egos. Once you begin getting good at radio, we both listen to our own shows. And some might think that's us having an ego, and it is, but it's us trying to improve our show. When you do radio, you get so into it that you kind of have to be cocky about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you need to also be able to point out the good with the shitty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the shitty with the good. It's once you can't really have a real understanding of your on-air style and your skill and where you want to go until you can really honestly critique yourself, and then take those critiques to heart and really work to improve them. Do you know what I mean? And once you really get to know your show and where you're going, I mean, you listen for two reasons: how to get better, and what was good, and what do I need to keep doing, Well,
dude, keep up the good work, man. I've had a lot of fun having you on the show.
So sorry. I feel like that asshole. I feel like there should have been more of a back and forth. Send me this, and I'm going to air check the shit out of myself, and, like, maybe we'll do it again. I'll give myself some serious notes.
Dude, you did good, man. I love hearing about you because I was trying to find more about you online, and you don't have a Wikipedia page. I found the Westwood One page. I found IMDb, but I couldn't find enough about you. So this was the perfect way, dude. Don't even leave this interview nervous or saying, should I have made it more of a conversation? Yeah. This is me interviewing you. You did a great job because you opened up, because a lot of times, dude, people in the audience just know us as the people on the radio. But you opened up, man. So I think this is going to be the year for you, dude. You're about to explode. I see huge things coming for you, bro.
Yo, the love right now for you is real, man. And can I just say, like, I've been stalking your ship for a while now. I know a nice amount about you. I know that you're uncomfortably tall. Is that correct?
Well, not just that part. But the thing is, I wasn't born with coordination, Zach. So the problem is, every day I hear, did you play basketball? And I'm just so sick of it, dude. It's sort of like a hot blonde with big boobs, and all the guys are hitting on her. It's just, I get sick of it, dude. And I try to be...
How tall are you?
6'9".
Holy shit. Wow.
Right.
That's massive.
I know, man. And, this is all I'm good at is radio. I'm not coordinated.
No, you're great at radio. Fuck basketball. You don't need that.
Thank you, dude. It means a lot. Coming from an up-and-coming legend like you.
Where were you before Tampa? Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Illinois, and then I worked in Cleveland for 4 months, and then I moved here.
You're in Illinois?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago.
Are you Chicago, or suburb outside?
Suburb, but it's easy to say. Like when I say I'm from Mount Prospect, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean?
Nobody knows. That's almost like me saying Wayne, New Jersey, because I grew up 25 minutes outside of New York City. So it kills me every time I don't say just Manhattan. Stupid. But I get you. So you went from Chicago to Ohio to Tampa.
Never been happier, bro. I love it here. The radio fans are legit. They are loyal, and they eat up radio. Yeah, man.
They have stories. Florida's crazy, man. Florida is crazy.
Dude, if you ever come out to Tampa Bay, hit me up.
I will. If you ever come out to Los Angeles, hit me up.
Well, dude, keep up the good work. I've had a lot of fun having you on the show, man, and I look up to what you do. Because a lot of kids our age, man, it's one of those things where they are into radio, but it's just kind of hacky and unoriginal. But, like, I feel like we're very similar, but just different formats where we're just trying to change the game and bring a new, fresh aspect to it. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's exactly it. And, dude, if I can share this industry with people like you, I am so freaking happy. There's a future here. There's life here. And it's been my goal to bring the next generation of listeners to the radio, in front of the speakers, but also behind the speakers as well. Because it takes people like us to keep it going. You know, we're needed. And what you're doing is really incredible, and I thank you for having me on, man. Really greatly appreciated. And I never do anything like this, so I really thank you, man. It means a lot.
No problem, bro. Keep up the good work, Zach. You're awesome, dude.
Hey, peace and love, brother.
All right, peace out, bro.
Bye.
All right, peace.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.